All right, Shalom. This is the brother Gamal Ya'Allah out of GMS ATL, giving all praises to Yahawah, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, giving double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone, and Shalom to all the Akim that are pushing out this truth and sincerity. All right, this video is basically centered around an article that I found. I'm just going to go straight into it and build off of that. Basically centered around America's demise, the collapse of the dollar, and the American economy crash. Okay, so here's the article. It says U.S. government now has less than Google. All right, skipping down, it says Slocky. I know it's small. I should have done screen record. Let me see if I can make it a little bit smaller. Okay, 1 second. Okay, that should be a little bit better. Okay, and it says it was a revolution. It was a pretty. Let me see. I'm gonna just skip a lot of this stuff. All right, so it goes into the Dutch government, right? It says that in 1814 the Dutch government defaulted, all right, and the effects were devastating. Okay, history is full of events that people thought were impossible. All right, but at that time, slack it 1 second. Skimming through it, I had some points that I wanted to touch on in this article. Okay, well, here's the main point that I wanted to bring out. It says on the day of Donald Trump's inauguration, the government's cash balance was $384 billion. Today, the government's cash balance is $34 billion. Okay, so look at this chart. Google has twice as much money, with cash reserves exceeding $75 billion. All right, so as you see, this is Google's cash balance right here at 75. Apple cash balance at 249, right? And then you have the U.S. Treasury cash balance, which fluctuates, and it goes to about it plummets really from February to March. So do you see that big drop? That's a huge drop. All right, in the cash balance. Now, if I'm not mistaken, the cash balance is the amount of money that is I believe the spending power, all right, of America, right? And it says it's about this isn't about Trump or Obama or any other individual. It's about the inevitability that goes hand in hand with decades of bad choices that have taken place within the institution of government itself. And that's right, because all right, Esau has had not even decades but centuries, okay, of bad choices, all right, of constantly committed iniquity. Okay, it says public spending is now so indulgent that government's net loss exceeded 1 trillion. Okay, now they have plans to borrow even more money to fund multi-trillion-dollar infrastructure projects. Okay, all right. It says this isn't a political problem, it's an arithmetic problem, and the math just doesn't add up. Okay? All right. Let's see. Our modern experts tell us that the U.S. government will always pay and that a debt default is impossible. Okay? Alright, so as you see, okay, this place is getting ready to basically fall apart. Okay? I'm gonna go ahead and bring a preset out. Actually, let me see here. Okay. Select it. That wasn't the one I wanted. I'm gonna go to Revelations 18:10. Standing afar off for fear of her torment, saying, Alas, alas, the great city Babylon, that mighty city, for in 1 hour is thy judgment come. So, all right, Babylon is known as, is in the Bible. Um, Babylon is America today, okay, in the Bible. All right, and it says, and the merchants of the earth shall weep and mourn over her. So, all right, you've got these other nations that rely on America, right? Okay, because America is the world's regional, it holds the world's regional currency, which is the dollar. Okay, all right. So all these nations are relying on the dollar for their stability, right? But when the dollar collapses, guess what? Um, they're gonna mourn. It says, "The merchants of the earth shall weep and mourn over her, for no man buyeth their merchandise anymore." See that? So the not only the American economy is going to collapse, but it's also going to be the world economy. Okay, all right, because uh, once the dollar is no longer in circulation, or once the dollar holds no more value, or better yet, people lose faith, all right, in the dollar and stop using it, all right, because really that's all is that's the only value that it has. It's people's faith, all right, um, that they put into this paper currency, right? Um, as soon as that happens, and people realize that this dollar ain't shit, okay, then guess what? It's basically going to be all hell breaking loose, and all these other nations are going to fall, okay? And the elites, they're going to push towards a one world currency, okay? All right, which is the RFID microchip, all right? So that's the goal. Um, that's pretty much the goal of these elites, okay? All right. So another thing I wanted to point out is these are these are major retailers that are closing in 2017. Okay, and here's just a few. All right, but you know, this goes to show you that America as a whole is falling apart because you have these smaller department stores. Okay, these retail closings that are taking place. All right, and you know, this is macroeconomics, okay? This is economics on a smaller scale, okay? Because America actually relies on these big businesses, all right? It relies on their spending power, okay? On their, I guess you could say their stocks, okay? All right, so here it is. J.C. Penney is closing down. At one point in time, J.C. Penney was one of the top retailers in the United States. Okay. Um, you got Macy's. Macy's was even Macy's and J.C. Penney. They were really kind of on the same level, but Macy's was a heavy store. Okay. Um, you know, I don't know really around what years. I can't say, but you know, if you go into, you know, Macy's, that was one of the top retailers, period, okay, of its time. All right, Sears and Kmart, okay. See that? So these are regular names. H Greg. Okay. You got mall stores, American Apparel. All right, CVS. Okay. So you got these stores that are closing shop. All right. Why are they closing shop? Because they're losing money. Okay. America is losing money. That's the point of this whole video. I might actually name it that. But all right, it said that Google has more, now has more cash than America. Okay. America's losing money. Okay. It's CTD. It's circling the drain. Okay. All right, and it's not going to bounce back either. Okay. All right. I had another preset. Let me see if I can find it. If it was, bear with me one moment. Okay. Okay. I go to 2nd Ezra 16:1. Woe be unto thee, Babylon and Asia. Woe be unto thee, Egypt and Syria. Gird up yourselves with clothes of sackcloth and hair. Bewail your children and be sorry, for your destruction is at hand. Okay? All right. This is soon to come to America. A sword is sent upon you, and who may turn it back? Excuse me. A fire is sent among you, and who may quench it? Plagues are sent upon you, and what is he that may drive them away? Many man drive away an hungry lion in the wood, or may any man drive away an hungry lion in the wood, or may any one quench the fire in the stubble when it hath begun to burn? Okay? So, as you see, the Lord is angry with this place, and there's going to be um, vast amounts of death, okay, and there's going to be nothing but destruction um, taking place in America, okay. Let me see. Let me look up. That actually wasn't the precept I was looking for. All right. All right. Okay, here it is. 2nd Ezra 16:21. Behold, victuals shall be so good cheap upon earth that they shall think themselves to be in good case. Okay? Actually, let me start at 19. Behold, famine and plague, tribulation and anguish are sent as scourges for amendment. See that? So famine and plague is getting ready to take place in America, okay? But for all these things they shall not turn from their wickedness, nor be always mindful of the scourges. See? So this ain't gonna change, Jake. All right, the economy collapsing. All right, niggas ain't gonna get right still. Okay. Says, behold, victuals shall be so good cheap upon the earth. So, all right, it says, they shall think themselves to be in good case, right? So, as you see, all right, things are gonna be cheap, okay, and people are gonna think, the price of gas might go down, the price of the goods might go down, and people are gonna be okay, they're gonna think, okay, we're good. They think that you're gonna think they're in good case, all right, and even then shall evils grow upon the earth, sword, famine, and great confusion. Okay, so let's look at what's happening in Venezuela right now. Okay, it says Venezuela crisis deepens. All right, and Venezuela, as you see right here, it was the 9th largest country in the entire world. Okay, they just held the Olympics in Rio. last year, right? The ninth largest country, the ninth largest economy in the entire world, is currently experiencing its longest and deepest recession in recorded history. In a country right next door, people are being encouraged to label their trash so that the thousands upon thousands of desperately hungry people that are digging through trash bins on the streets can find discarded food more easily. All right. One of the two nations, of course, the two nations that I'm talking about are Brazil and Venezuela. The economy was once the seventh largest on a the Brazilian economy was once the seventh largest on the globe, but after shrinking for 8 consecutive quarters, it has now fallen to ninth place. And in Venezuela, the economic collapse has gotten so bad that more than 70% of the population lost weight last year. Okay? It's just a matter of time before things currently happening in Brazil start happening here, right? I skipped this part. Most of us living on the northern hemisphere don't know anything, don't think that anything could like this could happen to us anytime soon. But the truth is that trouble signs are already starting to erupt all around us, and that's true. Okay, all right. You could because you've got the dollar, which is weakening. All right, and after a certain point, it's not gonna be used anymore. Okay, it's gonna be kaput. All right, and it says. Just a few years ago, the Brazilian economy was roaring, and it was being hailed as a model for the rest of the world to follow. See that? All right. Let's see. All right. So that I mean that's pretty much it. I'm trying to see if there's any more stuff in this article. That's pretty much it. But as you can see, okay. All right. People didn't expect for this to happen. Just like I said, it was a booming economy one year. All right, 2 years ago, and then now it's completely shitty. Okay, it's finished. Okay, all right. So as I said before, these things are going to come to America very soon. All right, we can expect the RFID microchip to be pushed as soon as the dollar collapses. All right, or just replaced with the dollar completely. Okay, but the dollar is you got these niggas out here flashing money and FRNs. Okay, these Federal Reserve notes are soon to be done away with. All right, so this is a lesson, on America basically collapsing, the economy collapsing. All right, giving all praises to YAHAWAH, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, double honors to the apostles. All right, shalom to the elect.